Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Muslim Gamers Podcast. This is episode 16 and I am your host Faraj, joined by my co-host Abdul, Nael, and Laughing Man. We're excited to have you with us for another week of gaming discussions, all through the lens of Muslim gamers navigating the modern gaming world. We've got a packed episode ahead with news, insights, and some spirited discussion. Whether you're commuting, grinding out a game, relaxing, or getting a good workout in, we hope this episode gives you something to enjoy and think about. Let's jump right in. Let me start off by saying Assalamu alaikum to my beloved and esteemed co-hosts, Abdul,
Walaikum
Nail, and Laughing Man.
salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.
I trust that you guys had a good week, inshallah, or a good 2 weeks. It's been a while since we've actually met up.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Keep them busy.
Going.
Keeping busy.
Great
Okay, so
hairs
let's
are
talk
growing.
about let's talk about what's been keeping you busy on the gaming side of things. We'll start out by talking about some of the games we've been playing. I'm gonna look at Niall. I have a feeling you haven't had a chance to game at all, but
No,
let's
I
see.
have not. So
Oh,
we
darn
can
it.
we can
Okay.
pass the mic on.
Yeah, you want to tell us, for those that may have missed the last episode, you want to tell us what's been keeping your time occupied away from gaming?
Sure. I've been trying to start my own business, making mocktails. It's been a lot of fun. Called Riverbank. You know, if you're in the SoCal area, come check us out.
Get it?
One
Because
of
he's
our
like Niall,
pop-ups.
Niall the River. One thing we forgot to mention while we were recording the episode is this was recorded the day before Niall's birthday. Right now, while I'm editing it, it's midnight, May 6th. It is officially Niall's birthday. I'm trying to get this episode ready to upload on YouTube and everywhere else. So, yeah, wish him a happy birthday if you can. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for sharing that. Now.
Faraj, what have you been up to?
I've been up to, on the gaming front, it's mostly just to keep distracted from all the craziness of the news and everything that's been going around, which has been great because there's a lot of games to keep me busy. If you want to know how many games I got, check out that Pile of Shame episode we did a while ago. So first off, there was, actually, let me pull up my notes. I don't remember what I played. Virtual cards. If you guys remember from a couple episodes ago, we were talking about the virtual cards that are being pushed out with the new update to all the Nintendo Switches. It basically helps with like kind of treating your digital purchases like physical purchases, where you can more easily swap between multiple consoles if you have them. And I believe there's also a way to share it with your family members. I don't have any other family members that have Nintendo accounts, so I haven't had a chance to try that yet. But for this turquoise guy here, turquoise teal, whatever color you want to call it, for my Switch Lite, I finally have been able to play games on it without worrying about like, oh, what if the internet cuts out and I lose access to my library? Because even if you have a game running on there, before this update, it would treat it as if like it just needs to check in online to make sure that I am the owner of this game. So now, I can more confidently take it out with me out and about. Online, I know some people have complained about like, I can't have, if you have two Switch systems, it's harder for people to be playing the same game on the different consoles if it's only one person that's owning it. I haven't run into that issue. In fact, I don't even remember that working for me before. So I haven't had any complaints on that front so far.
I'll have to test it out too, because I have a light and the full Switch. So
there you go. Yeah, maybe hopefully for the next episode you'll have some updates for us on the gaming front. Inshallah. I've also been continuing my playthrough of the Metroid games. Last time I beat Metroid Zero Mission, which for me it took about 4.5 or close to 5 hours, which honestly shouldn't even take that long. It's a much shorter game. I'm just not that good. And with Samus Returns, my skill gap is showing where I'm actually stuck on a pretty hard boss and haven't been able to get past it yet. It's not for lack of trying. I think I just need to keep at it a little bit more. And it's starting to I'm starting to understand more of like why Dark Souls players play, Souls games or FromSoft games. So especially when you have that level of difficulty, I can't cheat around with save states. I mean, it does a pretty good job of keeping good saves at checkpoints, so it's been pretty good there. And on the 3DS, as a way to as a palate cleanser from the difficulty of Samus Returns, I will sometimes play a little bit of Pokemon Y on my 3DS, and I've always been wanting to try playing on a portable gaming system at the gym in on a recumbent bike while I'm getting my cardio in, because cardio, I don't know about most people out there, but for me, it's very boring. Usually I have a show or something, but I'm like, you know what? Why don't I get a little bit of my Pokemon gaming in? Because for me, like a lot of what you're doing in Pokemon, it is repetitive and kind of it's kind of samey to me at least. I'm not as much of a Pokemon veteran as some of you guys here are, but I thought, okay, on a recumbent bike, this might be a good thing to try. It was not. Um, because on a recumbent bike you're kind of like laid back a little bit, so my knees kept hitting the 3DS. So next time I am going to try it on an upright bike at the gym, and we'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. And on my Steam Deck, I've been getting a little bit of nostalgia from the 360 days in of this game called Blazing Angel Squadrons of World War II. I saw some show that had some World War II dogfight action going on. I think it was the Family Guy Road to Multiverse episode. No, not the multiverse. Sorry, the time travel Road to Germany episode. So that just had me wanting a little bit of like, oh, let me shoot down some, you know, um, Axis powers in my P-51 Mustang. So that's me. I've been rambling on for a while. I am going to pass the torch over to, Laughing Man. We haven't had you in a while. How are you doing? How are you? We miss you here, man. How are you?
Thank you. Um, yeah, it's been a bit busy. Basically, let's see. What have I been playing? Give me a second. Okay, so
Your list is insane.
this is basically what happened. Quickly, last year, Elden Ring, I did my second playthrough because of the DLC. Finished the DLC. It was great, but extremely overwhelming. And it's funny, last year I told myself, yeah, I think I'm burnt out from the Souls genre for a long time. Like, Elden Ring has officially burnt me out. I don't dislike Souls games, but I'm just burnt out from the genre. So I said that last year, and then what happened is last year during fall, I played I replayed all three Dragon Age games back to back, and then Veilguard. Then I was like, all right, before I move on to a big thing, I need some small stuff. So I started playing like OG
Those are
Doom,
pretty small stuff.
Ace Attorney, and then on the side, I was replaying Dark Souls 1 Remastered. I already played OG, but on the side, I was just playing it remastered little by little. I finished it, and I was like, huh, I never played Dark Souls 3 DLC. I replayed Dark Souls 3, finished the DLC. And then I don't know, it's like some flow state activated, and I was like, I do have Sekiro and Lies of P. Let me play Sekiro, which is said to be the hardest one. And then some of the bosses, which people are like, oh, this guy's gonna be tough. I beat them in like 3 to 4 tries, and I realized, oh, I this is difficult, but I can pick it up because I like being aggressive. I don't have to worry about stamina. And after Sekiro, I was gonna go. I finished Sekiro, beat all the bosses, got the secret endings. Then I was like, all right, Lies of P time. But then I don't know. I woke up in a hunter's dream, and I found a pistol in my left hand, and a cane whip in my right hand, and through the power of uh, you know, the pale blood emulation allegedly in Minecraft, I finished Bloodborne, and after Bloodborne, I was like, okay, now we're gonna actually play Lies of P. But then I was like, okay, I played every FromSoft Souls game. I never played the OG one that started all, Demon Souls. And like, should I wait for the remake to come to PC? I could, or I could play the PS3 version with mods, 60 FPS, remastered. It's not going to be perfectly remastered, but it'll be good enough. And playing Demon Souls was like imagine you imagine you skip, like, you're like a trained athlete professional, and then you realize, like, oh, I forgot to pass my training 1 2 whatever little class that I need to complete this, and you go to take that and you absolutely destroy it, and you're like, oh, I'm over prepared for this. So yeah, as of now, I have officially completed every FromSoft Souls game, and now I'm finally playing Lies of P, which I think is a masterpiece. It's a love letter to the soul genre. Does a lot of things better. Story is told a lot more directly. So yeah, it's like it's so going back. I said last year I'm burnt out from the soul genre. I don't know, something just clicked and some flow state activated, and yeah, I've just been finishing them all back to back. Old bosses that I thought like this guy's difficult, this guy's insane. Now I'm yeah, it's just something re-clicked again. So that's what I've been up to.
Was it a flow state or like your masochist tendencies? I'm trying to understand.
It
It's a lot of brutal.
masochism would be so here's the thing. Masochism would be like, okay, I'm beating my head up against this thing and it's taken me hundreds of attempts, but I'm still going. Each of the hardest boss in Sekiro, Sword Saint Ishin, the final guy, he only took me 1 hour of attempts, but that wasn't honestly, and he's supposed to be the hardest guy.
Dude,
Lady Maria and
props.
Orphan of Cause, the two hardest bosses in all of Bloodborne. Lady Maria took me 3 attempts. Orphan of Cause, I beat him on my second attempt.
Hmm.
The secret boss, Moon Presence, beat him on my first attempt. Demon Souls, I beat every single boss on my first. Demon Souls, I beat every single boss on my first attempt. What was the hardest part of Demon Souls? So OG Demon Souls, it has an awful farming system for upgrading weapons. It took me 6 hours to get one Bladestone chunk. And then you're thinking, oh, it took me more hours to farm more? Nah, I used the item dupe glitch. Ain't nobody gonna sit another 6 hours to farm more. I item dupe glitch all the way. That was the hardest part. The bosses, um, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's masochism. I honestly, it just something just clicked. Like I get what you're saying, but yeah, something just clicked. I would say like it's not necessarily masochism. Like I wasn't. That's the thing. I wasn't struggling. Um, in Dark Souls 3 DLC, the hardest boss, Sister Fried and Father Ariandel, a 3-phase boss, I beat on my first attempt ever. I've never fought this boss before. Um, Slave Knight Gale in the final DLC, I beat him after 4 attempts. So yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, that's very respectable
Completely
and
respectable.
props.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's a dedication that I do not have.
The fact that it took you 1 hour of effort to beat, what was it, Lady Maria? Was the one you were talking
No, no,
about?
Sword Saint Ishin. Sword Saint Ishin.
Sword
In
Saint Ishin.
Sekiro.
Okay. In Sekiro. Okay.
That's
Uh
insane. That is
Sometimes I
insane.
only get about an hour of gaming, and I would not want to put myself through an hour of
That's
just,
also another
beating my
thing.
head against the wall like that for a while.
So
But yeah, props to you.
he, what I discovered is, and this is why the Elden Ring DLC wore me out. Before Elden Ring, all of these bosses, for the most part, were challenging but fair.
Hmm.
And after playing all of them back to back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's your move set. Okay, he's gonna do this. Okay, I recognize that. You develop this sort of muscle memory. And with Sekiro, so Bloodborne is my overall favorite completely. But gameplay wise, Sekiro is the best one because you can be aggressive. There's no stamina system. In other Souls games, like, oh no, I ran out of stamina. Oops. Sekiro,
Hmm.
as aggressive as you want, it's a rhythm game. People
Yeah,
joke it's a rhythm game.
it
So
is.
it's like, okay, he's gonna do this 3-hit combo, deflect, 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 bam. And once you get that, it's there's like a certain beauty in it. But I'm not the Elden Ring DLC final boss. Screw that guy. They had to nerf him twice. That's how awful he was.
Wow.
I beat him. I beat him pre-nerf, so I can at least brag about that. But that's yeah, that's my Souls complete Soulsborne journey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Abdul, what have you? I saw you playing Kingdom Come Deliverance the other day, a
Before
little
we
bit.
get into that, I'd say I'm on the same like thing as Faraj. Like I have maybe an hour and a half to game a day, and I can spend that trying to grind out one single thing in Elden Ring or make progress in the story of another game. So I played Elden Ring for a bit. I think I beat the first boss. Wait, what's his name? Starts with a G.
Margit, the big
Yeah.
major,
The finger
major
dude?
one, Margit.
Yeah, the finger dude, and then I beat the
Finger
second-
dude. You're killing me here.
I got to the
thing-
swamp. I got to the swamp area, and I was like, I'm done with this game.
Wait, the
Freaking done.
swamp?
No, not the swamp.
Yeah, the swamp
the-
isn't that bad.
The
It's
swamp.
like it's one of the
lake
poison
Poison swamp,
levels.
and
Yeah.
then the one that really got to me was the lake with the freaking the sniper crabs.
Oh, those lobsters that can shoot projectiles, shoot you from
Yeah, I was like, F this game.
Haven't gone there.
miles away. Yeah, those guys are
Yeah.
annoying.
Abdul, I should recommend you at least try playing Elden Ring with an easy mode mod, just to give it a shot. It does
Yeah,
take,
I have to get back into it at one point. It's
Yeah.
but
Or-
there's other games I want to play.
Or he
Or get
can
good.
Or get good.
or he can try out Night Rain, since it's more of a co-op, and it's
Mhm.
it's honestly easier because you're not really exploring, and it's all co-op and stuff. Or you could try the seamless co-op mod for Elden Ring.
Yeah, I heard about those, but then I wouldn't need someone to play with. My times are usually whack. Anyways,
That's fair.
my time has been devoted, and I say like I have a little bit of time, and I'm playing a game that's gonna take a lot of time to finish, which is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Honestly, peak RPG game to play right now, in my opinion. I think I talked about it a little bit in the last podcast. I will say, for everybody, a warning. It is so from a Muslim perspective, questionable. It's a very Christian game. Like it's historically based in medieval Christian era in the Hungarian war that's happening. So Christianity is like in your face. Everyone's like Christian, and Jesus' name is brought up one time. Like you go to a church, doing things. And there's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of cursing in this game, profanities, and then there's also explicit content. So if that's not your vibe, this game will not be for you. The mechanics of this game, the mechanics of the games are amazing. I am really enjoying it. Diving into the world, being like medieval knight in shining armor or whatever, and sneaking around and doing quests and just the little things. I'm still in the starter area. I think how long have I played this game for? Let's see.
It's in
I am at
for
48
2
hours.
weeks?
I'm at
2
48
weeks?
hours, and I still haven't finished the first map.
48 hours?
48 hours.
Wow.
You started
That's
playing
respect-
like 2 weeks ago, right? When
Yeah.
we last talked.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
3 weeks maybe, like right
And I'm
after
Did you
still-
Ramadan.
Yeah.
And I'm still at the first
That's
map. There's a second map
crazy.
that's even bigger than this. That I've heard about. So it's crazy. There's so much to do. All the quests are meaningful. They build onto each other. There's no there's very little like just filler content. Everything you do, you feel like, okay, I'm doing this for something. I'm doing this for someone. And the characters are so well built. It's a living world. It's very hard. Like a lot of RPGs, the NPCs are just there. They stand around. You talk to them, whatever. These NPCs have their own lives. They're doing their own thing, and like they have their own schedules. You feel like you're living in this world, and you get to know these people. Like I know this map now, like on the back of my head. I know who the characters are. I know their names. I know when someone's talking about somebody, oh, this is who they're talking about. This is where they are and what they're doing and stuff like that. It's crazy how like this game is very good at making you invest in the game. if that makes
Immersing
sense.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very
I'm-
immersive.
I'm
Did you
very
play
enjoying
the
it.
first one?
I did play the first one.
How does the jank? Because I own the first one, but I haven't played it in some time, or I never really started it.
Mhm.
But one of the complaints was the combat's really janky. A lot of stuff is janky, but I heard the second one improved upon a lot of it. And I think one thing worth mentioning is, like you said, it is unique in that it's a medieval fantasy like RPG, but without. Or sorry, it's a medieval RPG without the fantasy. It's
Correct.
very
very real.
it's real life.
Right.
There's no like magic or any superstition or whatever.
So how does the jank compare?
jank-
Like, do they improve the combat and stuff?
They improved the combat a lot. The jank has gotten significantly better. Is it 100%? Like the combat isn't overall super complicated. It just takes some getting used to. I'd say I don't know. The jank for me that I felt in Kingdom KCD1, I don't feel here at all. I
Hmm.
feel like they ironed it out pretty well.
Nice, nice. I heard it's pretty well optimized for the Steam Deck as well.
Yeah, I haven't
I
played on the
don't.
deck.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to try it on the deck, but one thing I do want to bring up is the point that you made earlier about, a lot of the game's themes being centered around Christianity and the fact that there's a lot of cursing in there. I just wanted to address one thing that, so we do see some comments on some of our videos. We have been paying attention to them, guys, listeners and viewers. And I know that some people are asking us like, oh, is it haram or halal to play a certain game or not? Let me just make the one thing very clear. We're not shayukh. We're not trying to give out fatwas or tell you what is haram or what game is haram or halal to play. I know that there are people that would say that just, you spending any time gaming or even listening to a gaming podcast is a waste of your time. And, that's okay. That's a valid opinion that someone could have. But, it's a hobby that we enjoy, and it's something that we're not going to tell you what to play and what not to play based on morality alone. I think that's a choice that you as an individual have to make. If something feels questionable for you, maybe it's better to avoid it. And if you talk to your sheikh, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you not to play it if it has something questionable in there. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
I mean,
Cool.
yeah, that's a
Yeah, it's
I
valid.
Yeah,
it's
because
a solid point. And
Like,
also, I would recommend the game Pentiment. They did.
yes,
It's
I
a
haven't played that one.
short.
It's on my list.
It's very short. It's like kind of like Disco Elysium Planescape Torment, 15 hours to 20, depending on how fast you read.
and depending
It
on your definition of short.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I
it's
didn't mean to
mainly
interrupt.
reading. Like the
Okay.
gameplay, people joke the gameplay is literally you're flipping through. It's like you're flipping through a book. Like, have you seen the
Okay.
memes? Like, yo, the gameplay's so fire, and it's a dude flipping through a book.
Hmm.
But Obsidian, they did really good research on medieval Christianity. It takes place right around the Protestant Revolution in Bavaria, and as a Muslim playing this game, I was like, this has a lot, like, because Christianity and Islam, they share a lot of similar religious themes. There's a lot of things you can appreciate. Um, sure, we don't believe in some of the same religious conclusions Christians believe, obviously, but a lot of the themes about faith, God, prayer, the purpose of religion, how it serves, how it helps a community, how it gives people hope and stuff. They draw upon that so well, like so well. So I highly recommend people play Pentiment.
Yeah, I've heard it recommended before to me too, and I think it was the same. It's just the dude flipping through the pages is what kind of threw me off at first, or kind of made me think maybe not might not be something to try. But now that you're recommending it, yeah, maybe I should give it a shot.
No, yeah, it's on my list of games to play. I've heard really
Yeah,
good things about it.
cool. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the news section. There's been some, it hasn't been too crazy. Well, depending on your definition of crazy, hasn't been too bad with the news, but I know there have been a few news items here. I'll leave it out open for you guys. Who wants to go first with their news item?
I'll go. I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a news. It's more so. I guess it's like a good news success story. So, Expedition 33. I was hyped for that game when I first saw it during the Xbox showcase last year, and I was like a little cautiously hyped, but hyped nonetheless. And I was like, I hope the story is good. The combat looks amazing. It's turn-based combat, but it has like dynamic stuff. And for example, on the opponent's turn, you don't just sit there and take damage. You have to dodge or parry. You might be thinking, I suck at it. I'll just take the damage. You're gonna hate that pretty damn soon. Now, it's not just that, but the Expedition 33, it's largely made of former Ubisoft devs, and each of them talked about a specific JRPG, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, that inspired them. And one of the writers for the game, she was somebody who on a Reddit post originally auditioned to be a voice actress, but then during production they told her like, "Hey, join the writing team." And I haven't really played it myself, so a lot of this is just going off what I've seen and what friends have said. But apparently the story is like super phenomenal. But what I want to highlight here is this is a team of ex devs who took a big risk, and this is their first project. And there was a lot of there were a couple of naysayers who were like, "Oh, these are just, how do we know the trailer looks good, but how do you know it's going to be great? Oh, the graphics just look like Unreal Engine 5, slop, whatever." Because I think they bought Unreal Engine assets, like because they're an indie team. They can't
Mm-hmm.
like make stuff from scratch. There were a couple of naysayers, but a lot of people were excited, and I'm just really happy. I'm always happy when indie developers they massively succeed. Like the game sold already, I think like 500,000 copies already. And compared to that, the Oblivion remaster, it sold 1.4 million copies. It's now the third best-selling game of 2025.
I
Wow.
So
think it's also now the highest rated game of 2025 in terms of
Oblivion
positive.
or
No,
Expedition?
Expedition.
Oh yeah, it got 93 or 92 overall on Metacritic, which that is across all platforms, which
Yeah.
that's for a first game, that is extremely impressive.
Right
So
after I'm done with Kingdom KCD 2, that's the next game
Kingdom
on my
Hearts.
list. Please. Why?
Don't
Like,
put him through this right now. He's got
I have
enough
enough
trauma.
trauma in my life. Um,
I
no,
can't wait for Abdul's kids to pick up Kingdom Hearts
you
and
know
then
what?
beat and
I
and beat
honestly,
Sephiroth. They're gonna beat Sephiroth to get that platinum trophy.
I beat Sephiroth, so if I can do it, they better do it.
They're gonna beat on their first try, inshallah.
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 I'm not gonna help
Inshallah.
them. They're gonna suffer through the whole thing. But yeah, that's on my list of things. That's the
Yeah.
next game I'm gonna play. It's already because like turn-based strategy is my favorite genre of all time. Love it.
Yep.
I really like what I saw. It's basically what the Final Fantasy VII remake is, but in a like whole new setting to me, and I'm for it.
It it's like a French JRPG because the devs are all like France. Like I think they're culturally French. There's a lot of like French themes and stuff. But yeah, and the soundtrack is. I've listened to a few bits and pieces, avoided mostly due to like spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just everything I've heard. Some people are saying one friend who's like he said he knew immediately Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be one of his favorite games of all time. He said this is very easily in his like top 10. And even there are some people I know in my friend groups who look down on turn-based RPGs who are like, why would I play turn-based? I'm gonna play like Halo, Gears of War, or like one of them. He's a finals addict. He plays the finals a lot. He picked it up and he started playing it, and that shocked me. I was like, this homeboy would never touch a turn-based, no Baldur's Gate, no Fire Emblem, but he's enjoying this. So always
Nice.
happy to. So that's my bit of news. I'm just always happy to
Yeah,
see indie devs
Yeah.
for the first game, first try, massively succeed like that.
yeah, it's
I,
pretty awesome.
I want to say two things regarding Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Wow, I actually said the name right in the first try.
You said the full
One,
name.
yeah. One, because it's a JRPG type game being made by a French studio. I've also heard it be referred to as a JRPG. There's that.
Okay,
And
it's funny you say that. I don't want to get too much into this, but
uh-huh.
this has started a debate in the community, in some parts of the gaming community, about why are you calling this a JRPG? It's inspired, but it's not made by Japanese developers, and like some people don't like the term JRPG. And to that, I always come in and say, Avatar: The Last Airbender is Western anime.
Mm-hmm.
Anime
Yeah,
is a style; it doesn't have to be
yeah,
made in Japan. And I say that because I like seeing weebs' heads explode. But that's just me. That's my
yeah.
toxic gamer trait.
I think a lot of us do enjoy seeing weebs' heads explode. But my second point actually has to do with something a little bit more contemporary, affecting a lot more of us with game pricing, because I can't remember who it was that said this, especially in reaction to Xbox or Microsoft, rather, increasing the prices on all their games and their systems. At least not their older games. Like they're saying, any new games are going to now start costing $80 instead of $70 in the US. And I think in response to that, where with all these like talks about rising development costs and trying to keep up with the economy or whatever, the two best-selling games this year were both not full priced so far, with the Clair Obscure Expedition 33 and Oblivion Remastered.
What do you define as full price? Because like,
I
are
think
you
he's
saying
talking
full
about like
price?
$70.
Like
70,
60,
70 by in
60
general.
plus?
Yeah.
Okay.
7, I would say
plus.
70 being now, or even 60 to 70. Okay, let's just leave it there. 60 to 70 right now. We're not counting the $80-$90 Mario Kart World because that's not out yet. So we'll stick with what's out at the time of this recording.
And we don't know about GTA $100 yet.
Yeah, I
Costing
mean, it's,
$100
you
yet,
know,
allegedly.
I was scoffing at that at first, but now it looks like it might be a possibility. But the fact that there are studios out there that can put out high quality games and, not charge an entire full ticket price for that, gives me some hope that, hey, at least, we're not heading into this road of, corporate greed. I mean, we are, but at least it's not completely eclipsed by corporate greed trying to just raise prices and just put the charge onto the consumers. And I know we were talking about this before the recording too, is that, sure, people will say, hey, compared to inflation back in the 80s and 90s, games used to actually cost a lot more. Sure, that is true, but what is also true is wages haven't gone up to reflect that. The people say inflation just means everything's going to get more expensive, but we're also not seeing an increase in our incomes or like people's standard of living
All
to
those
reflect that.
increases are just
And
getting
I think
funneled to the top.
yeah,
Exactly, to the CEOs. Yeah.
my biggest argument against that is like, oh, games have costed, they don't cost as much as they would if we adjusted to inflation. You back in the day, you paid like $50-$60, you got a full game,
Mhm.
and that was it.
without having to worry about DLC.
Right now,
Okay,
you don't.
but-
When you buy a game, most AAA games, you're buying it, and with
It's in
like
buying the
you're
promise of
buying
the full
like
game.
the first part of the game,
Mhm.
and then they have like the deluxe edition, then they have the ultimate edition with like DLCs. Then on top of that, there's microtransactions or like a loot box system or like what's the I'm blanking on it, but some other sort
Battle
of like
passes.
microtransaction battle passes. Like there's other occurring cash shops or cost or money taking schemes that they're doing, or literally just a gambling store,
Mhm.
like the NBA games.
Star Citizen.
Hold
So
on.
it's not. I don't think that the
I
argument.
want
of,
to
yeah,
I want to
man.
slightly push back because you mentioned games coming out, multiple editions, microtransactions. But like, which ones do you mean? Are you because I feel like the only ones that do that are like NBA, like you said, NBA 2K, the FIFA, the Maddens, maybe the
Call of Duty.
CODs. But the
Everything
single
from
player games,
Ubisoft.
Well,
Ubisoft single player games.
right? But aside from Ubisoft, like no other
BioWare
single
game?
player,
Every BioWare game.
like
single player.
almost every major
studio. What are you
AAA
talking
studio
about?
is making games that have
Every
some sort
major
of shop,
game.
some sort of something added to it.
Okay, so
Whether
you're referring to
whether it's horse armor or
I'm not
it's,
talking about
whether
I'm
it's
not talking
horse
about,
armor or a full DLC, it's still microtransactions.
So when I'm talking about the games, I'm talking specifically through AAA games because that's like supposed to be the best tier. Indie games have always costed less, and have always been like a smaller production value, right? And there's we can always find a good value there, and that I don't think that anyone's arguing that. I'm talking about corporations that are like, oh, we're hiking up the price because we want to catch up to things. And it's like, dude, that's total BS. You've been like nickel and diming us for generations now on how you can charge us more on games, and I don't think that argument flies with them specifically.
It's just more of a way for the people up top to try to
No,
get
if
more.
Clair Expedition costed $80, right? That's a steep price to pay, but you would get a complete game.
Mhm.
Or if Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, if Kingdom Come costed $80, honestly, I would not be like, oh my god, this game is so expensive. The amount of gameplay and things that you're getting for it is worth $80 in my opinion.
So I mean, do we start looking at gaming by the hours played?
It's more
value?
as far as like the
It's
amount
more-
of content, or not, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say the amount, but the completeness, for lack of a better term, of the content that they put into the game. For example, even though we use, people tend to like to bash on EA. the two Jedi games, Survivor and Fallen Order, were both technically complete at the time of release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they're
know, they
pretty
didn't,
great.
and
Great
whatever
games.
content additions were added were more cosmetic. It's not meant to, like, you know, the omission of that doesn't take away from enjoying the game to its fullest at the release day. And I know we're not talking about the technical issues, because I know there were technical issues with, especially with Jedi Survivor. I know one of the terms used to describe it was Star Wars Jedi CPU Survivor or something like that. Yeah. But I am kind of understanding where a Laughing Man is coming from, where we're not seeing that in every single AAA single player game, but usually
Yeah,
when there's a live service aspect added to it, especially when there
precisely.
doesn't need to be a live service aspect added to it. I'm looking at
Suicide
you,
Squad,
Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's
the Avengers, the Crystal
Hmm.
Dynamics
yeah,
Avengers game, which initially looked very promising until they turned it into a
Every
live
and every,
service looter shooter.
yeah, it's just every game.
an
AAA is
Anthem.
just going down. It just
What's happening is so Larian's CEO, Zwen, he's spoken on this. A quick little history of Larian. Their first game ever was called Divine Divinity. Yeah, what a silly title. It kind of sounds dumb, right? And it was basically a Diablo like ARPG. But they didn't want it to be a Diablo ARPG. The publisher they had at the time said, "Oh, Diablo." It was around the time Diablo 1 or Diablo 2 was like popping on PC. So the publisher was like, "No, this is what's popular. You got to make this." And the publisher said, "Name it Divine Divinity." The publisher kind of, made them like, "You got to make it like this. This is what you got to title it." And that soured Larian. And Larian, as a result, they don't they're independent. They're a large company. They have, I think, what, 300, 400 employees, but they are a
Wow.
private company. Swen's the CEO. There is no board of directors they answer to, so they can do whatever the hell they want. There is risks with that, obviously, but there's benefits as well. Baldur's Gate 3 would not exist if it was a
Hmm.
publicly traded company. Now, and similarly, I'm going to give some praise to Bethesda here. Bethesda, I know, gets a lot of crap, but Bethesda is one of the few AAA companies that treats its employees extremely well. They did a documentary with the OG devs of OG Oblivion, and they're now watching old videos of themselves during development and seeing their reactions to the new Oblivion remaster. And those guys, the majority of them are still working for Bethesda. They're all having a good time. But and a little bit about Bethesda, they were about to go under. Their publisher ZeniMax was gonna like shut
Hmm.
them down.
Hmm.
Todd Howard, he pleaded with them, please let me make this Morrowind thing. Just he pleaded with them, and Morrowind was a huge success, and that's what saved Bethesda. Todd's now the head honcho, but he remember Todd a lot of him he remembers that time. He remembers that tumultuous time. And that's why Bethesda, they have very good worker retention rate. They treat their employees extremely well. I have my criticisms about their writing in their games, but like Oblivion, stuff like Oblivion, I haven't really played Starfield, but it's stuff like Oblivion, Skyrim. It's a fun. You play it because you want to get lost and explore something, right? It's like a cheesy, fun fantasy thing. So that only a couple of companies understand that, and the rest, it just comes to chasing maximum profit growth every year. Like, oh, this year we made 1% less. All right, time to cut, this or that. It's unfortunately like it's capitalism. Like
Yeah.
it
cancer.
always
Yeah.
it always comes down to
Or
corpo
cancer.
crony capitalism,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
Speaking of capitalism, Abdul, let's talk about your story.
Oh yeah. I got two
I don't know. I
stories.
said that with a smile. It's actually a sad story.
EA lays off hundreds of employees and cancels an unannounced Titanfall project. Um, this was, well, we don't know what
See,
type of
can I say something real quick, Abdul?
yes.
Uh, when I heard the news, and I don't think you mentioned this, Laughing Man, that there's a project called Sky Oblivion being done by independent modders, where
Oh yeah,
these
yeah.
modders are trying to put um, the entire game of Oblivion
In the
in the
Skyrim
Skyrim
engine.
engine,
Yes.
and then out of nowhere, Elder Scrolls 4 remastered comes out, and we're thinking, oh no, what's going to happen to this project? Bethesda actually gave them all keys to
Oh yeah, they got free
to-
copies.
yeah, free
Yep.
copies of Elder Scrolls 4, and I'm like, wow, I did not expect things to get so much better, at least a little bit. And I saw that as great news, and I think literally right after that was when I saw this headline of
Title.
EA lays off hundreds and
Yeah,
cancels Titanfall 3.
300
We're-
to 400.
Like, it's not enough to like
employees.
just
So,
stick the knife in. You
to
got to
be-
No,
twist
so it was
too.
not Titanfall 3. It's not.
Yeah, I was
Titanfall
gonna
3, as
say
people
it was an
I
extraction.
think the original
shooter.
headline I read assumed that it was Titanfall 3. So
assumed,
at least
yeah,
the fact that it's not
It was an
Titanfall 3,
extraction
it's like, okay,
shooter
just take out the knife a little bit. Good.
in the Titanfall universe, which it can be very broad because technically Apex Legends is in the Titanfall universe, but it's
Yeah.
not Titanfall in any way. shape, or
What's with
form.
what's with the recent trend of extraction shooters? Did I miss
Yeah,
something?
I don't think
It's just the
It's the new
next
thing.
spin on arena shooters.
It's
looter
it's-
shooters.
like-
we got looter
Yeah.
shooters.
There's
we
a
got
looter shooter
hero
with
shooters.
Destiny. Yeah.
Right,
hero
Now we're
shooter.
at
But
extraction
see-
shooters.
See,
Mhm.
with like all the other genres, there's like a big popular thing like Fortnite, PUBG. They were like super popular, so companies were like, we want a piece of that battle royale. With extraction shooters, the only two, it's a very niche genre.
It is
Tom,
very
Tom,
niche.
I mean, Tom Clancy.
I only know of Hunt
Mhm.
Showdown and what's the Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
But those very hardcore, super niche games, and
Exactly.
like, so yeah, I with the marathon, like, and then this canceled Titanfall 3, like, or it could be that they started these projects years back, and we're now just hearing about it. Could just be that as well.
Kind of like a Concord, where maybe that whole inception of it was probably when Overwatch.
Hearing
was sold.
Overwatch, yes,
Yeah.
or
bad timing.
Anthem. Apparently, the original concept of it was in 2012.
Mhm.
Way back before like Destiny fully came out and stuff. But then, yeah,
God,
It's
Anthem
Anthem's
sucks so
making
hard.
sad because it has bones of some good gameplay.
Yeah, it
They
had so
just
much
had to-
potential.
Hmm.
So much potential,
Yeah.
and that
Not every
concept
game
was
needs
so
to be like
cool.
Destiny.
Original IP, like new world, and then you just destroy it,
Hmm. Yeah.
burn it to the ground.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why the trend. It's a good question. I don't know why the trend of extraction shooter has risen all of a sudden. Because like it is a very niche and a very dedicated base. It's like these people don't want to go to new extraction shooters. They want to stay in Hunt Showdown, or they want to stay in Tarkov. Like
Well, there are a few
I'm sure
that
these
are
companies
trying.
have ran the numbers and feel like it's worth trying to make something stick to the wall. They throw a few million at a dev team.
yeah, but it's not something a casual person is going to pick up. These are games that require a lot of
But these are
dedicated time,
games
and
that
they're
they
very
can-
sweaty games. These are not
That-
casual games.
That's the
So
thing.
I-
Like these are games that they can develop. If they see like, okay, there's something that can stick, I feel like they can create a fan base around it, create tournaments around it. That's what they're looking for. Things that they can really.
wait, can you
grow.
do tournaments with
No,
extraction shooters?
I wouldn't say there's
No?
tournaments. It's more just of the sweat of trying to
Yeah.
get away with your loot without dying.
Dropping
and
in,
losing everything,
killing other players,
Yeah.
getting stuff, and then
Mhm.
extracting, basically.
basically.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to touch extraction shooters. Like that's way too stressful for me right now.
So I will say sometimes when I'm working, I have different YouTube channels or YouTube videos going in the background, and
I mean,
there were a couple that I used to watch called Operator Bluesky. So and they tend to play like games that are very not just more milsim or just
Yeah.
military type games, and there is an audience around different types of extraction shooters, and especially with Tarkov having gotten some bad rap where people that actually paid for the full game are now being told that, hey, there's an even bigger ultimate edition that you're gonna have to pay more for you to actually get all the content in the game, and they're
Yeah.
like, bro, what the heck. So there are other games out there that are starting to get some recognition. There's one called Exoborn that's made by X Division developers. Another one that I actually played called Incursion Red River, which is in early access. What's great about that game is you can play the entire game offline locally just against AI, and it was only $16 when I bought it, and that was its full, quote unquote, full early access price. I don't know what price it is now, but there's definitely people do in that community, from what I've seen,
they'll try stuff.
they'll
but
try
they kinda
other
stick
games.
to their
Mhm.
grind.
Yeah.
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 So
But
I don't know. I like I said, these are just companies running
Yeah.
numbers and trying to see if they can make something stick. That was my point.
It could also be that with the marathon, it has the Bungie name attached to it,
Mhm.
and their final Destiny 2 DLC from what I remember reading and hearing, like people loved it. It was a nice conclusion to the story. And then they did lay off like a good number of their workforce, including senior leadership, the guy who's been with them since before Halo. Like before he's been composing their music before Halo. They laid him off.
I
But
thought they fired him before Destiny 2 even came out. Are you talking about Marty O'Donnell?
I don't remember the name. All I remember reading is they laid him off, and his website where he had his whole like, works, everything he did, he changed it to write "Gone Fishing."
Yeah, that is Martin O'Donnell. He
okay. Did he get? Was he sacked
It was before Destiny 2
Sure.
or even Destiny 1. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
That was a
okay.
while ago.
That was a
Oh,
long
I
time
see.
ago, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, never mind
Yeah.
then. But they did still get rid of other senior leadership and stuff. So it could be the people are excited for a new Bungie, like shooter thing.
You would think
so
that Marathon is not doing well, by the way.
It's not even out.
The
alpha,
impressions,
right?
The
Oh,
impressions
beta?
came in, and the alpha came in, and people are not enjoying it. At least that's what I've read online, and like the people that I follow. It's like people are like, meh, it's okay, but nothing like you want to really like. I'm going to dedicate my time to this game type of thing.
That's such a random fact. Marty O'Donnell ran for U.S. House of Reps seat in Nevada in 2024 and lost.
Okay, that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I was looking for that story. I was trying to remember where he was running from. It was Nevada. Under. I think he was trying to get the Republican ticket.
Republican nomination, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of development studios and stuff, Epic. Did you guys see this? Epic Game Store. They are basically getting rid of their percentage on the first million for indie developers.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
they will take 0% until you hit your first million.
They're
really trying to break the Steam monopoly.
Yeah, they really are. On that vein, Apple lost a key court case to Epic Games for the 30% charge on Apple Store App Store.
Which that's kind of huge. Like
It's
a little
super
bit
huge.
That
huge.
should have been bigger news.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's been going on for a while, and Epic's had some wins, and Apple's had some wins, but this was a judgment.
This is the main point that
they were going Apple's at officially been told that they need to stop and give the alternatives where they can't take that 30%, which is insane. And Apple's actually basically won this fight.
You mean Epic won the fight?
Sorry, Epic. Yeah.
Epic
won.
And they basically want it for anyone who wants to like sell anything on the Apple platform. Like you don't have to do it.
Think what you want about
Apple market.
Tim Sweeney or Epic as a publisher. Like that's a huge one. Like they spent a crap ton of money to do this and go after this for not just themselves, but this is going to benefit every single
game.
It's been going on for a while too.
Yeah.
Like I remember my son still, being a baby when the whole lawsuit thing broke out. Now he's in second grade.
Wait, 7th grade?
Second
grade.
Okay, I was like, wait, did he like overnight like age or something?
I don't have that many white hairs yet, so don't worry.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
Like time traveled to the past.
I need to know what Farage's routine is because I got a lot of white hairs and my kid's not in second grade yet.
No, I'm getting there, bro. Look at this, all the receding.
I'm already way ahead of you.
Yeah. I got my first white hair when I was 11. So I'm been ahead of you guys, but I think I'm. See, some people they just don't. Quick aside, don't do the Daisy Uncle Orange dye. Like it looks atrocious. Personally,
you don't like the Mehndi look.
There's some sunnah behind it.
No, but it's the shade. Yeah. It's the shade of orange that they use. It looks like I don't know, vomit.
It's
like
cheap. Yeah, that's the cheap Mehndi. Like,
yeah, you gotta get the good stuff.
Or just embrace. Go full Silver Fox. Just embrace that like silver foxy look. Come on, like
honestly, I wouldn't mind if my hair was full silver. It'd be nice, but salt and pepper.
I'm
But
okay with salt and pepper. Yeah,
salt. Wait, is that what it's called?
salt and pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, you've never heard that?
Oh,
Oh, you
wow.
never heard that word?
No,
between,
I'm learning something new today.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called salt and pepper when you have like white
And
and black.
real quick, speaking of lawsuits, it is related to gaming. I only know this because one of my guilty pleasures is grinding in a Souls game, and on my second monitor putting like drama YouTube channels and stuff.
Okay.
Speedrunner Carl Jobst, who was being sued by Billy Mitchell, who allegedly there's questions about whether his Donkey Kong world record is legitimate or not. He lost to Billy Mitchell and now owes him. It turns out people thought the lawsuit was about cheating in video games. It turns out it was actually about defamation. In a
okay.
video, Carl Jobst, without evidence, he kind of said Billy Mitchell may have caused this other YouTuber to end his own life, that's a serious.
that's
Wow.
pretty serious.
That's a serious claim.
Yeah.
And he didn't really do a proper retraction. And yeah, it went to court. The Australian judge ruled that Carl Jobs did defame, and now he owes Billy Mitchell 450,000, I think Australian dollars, but nonetheless. And he has to pay Billy Mitchell's legal fees and his own legal fees. So, yeah, careful. This is why, notice I said allegedly, like always be careful when you make a claim about a public figure or someone, and you're not sure, there's no evidence, or the evidence isn't clear. Always say allegedly, like according to rumor state, little bit of lesson there. Otherwise,
or
yeah,
when it comes
Except
to
when you're
regulation.
saying, except when you're saying Pokemon sucks, because it actually does suck.
all right, a big yes, Big N. This guy right here. Yes, officer of Big N. This one right here.
Yeah, there's that, and also when talking about the E word emulation.
Oh yeah, I think we should all emulate the best character of the
Yes.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Before
In real life and in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Before we conclude, there is one more story, a very tiny story that I want to mention before we end. Is that the Gears of War, the OG Gears of War, is getting a new release for Steam and PlayStation 5. I never would have thought, we'd see Gears of War.
We're gonna see
I'm
Halo
excited
next.
for Sony fanboys to finally experience Gears of War.
Yeah,
What I'm more excited
about is we
mods on
for
Steam.
those. Well, no, it's I own the digital version of Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which was the remake of the original one that came out on the 360. And anybody who owns that will get a free upgrade to this new Ultimate Edition. But it'll be on the Microsoft side of things. If you want to play it on Steam, you have to buy it separately. So the article, as far as I've read, is not clear on, because I own it on Xbox, so I don't know if that means I'm entitled to a PC copy of it, which I think it should be, because it's the Play Anywhere. They're doing the whole Play Anywhere thing now anyway for on the Xbox app. So hey, I don't have to pay any money to Microsoft to get that game and still be good on my at least trying to stay on the BDS side of things.
Yeah, Gears of War, amazing game, super awesome. I would say if you do not like gore, do not play that game.
Absolutely, yeah, it's very gory.
I did see some complaints that I think Gears of War 1, like you said, was already remade, and they released it in a trilogy. So some people were like, "Why is it just one? Why not bring that whole trilogy, port that to PC and Steam?" But I guess they wanna they want a lot of they want multiple pieces of the pie, not just
for
one.
Sure.
So
but no, Gears of War is amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to experience it again on my PC. All right, with that being said, I think we had a really good episode there. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Abdul, Nael, and Laughing Man, for joining us here. And as always, to our viewers and listeners, Jazakumullah khairan for tuning in and spending some time with us. We really appreciate the support and the growing community around the show, especially now that we finally got our social medias figured out and we're starting to upload some media there. We see, a lot of people liking and reacting to the content that we're putting out there. And I hope some people found us on the actual podcast through the social media. And if you're enjoying the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to hear your thoughts, and we want to continue the conversation with you all. And if with the aforementioned social media, make sure to follow us all on there so that you don't miss any updates or clips from the show. On Instagram, it's Muslim Gamers Podcast. On Bluesky, it's MG Podcast at bsky.social. And on TikTok, it's Muslim Gamers GG. We'll catch you in the next episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.